everybody, it's Safi and Marco, and I hope Marco's calmer this time. We are going to do the second episode of the new Goosebumps series. Well, I should say the new Goosebumps reboot of old episodes that were on years ago. Except, now, in addition to the characters being completely different, the storylines being completely different, except little pieces here and there that may have been drawn from the original stories. They're all, well, I can't speak for the rest of them, but the first two are hooked together, which I was very shocked
Safi, they're
about.
all hooked together, remember?
No, I didn't know that it would be that way.
Yeah,
I
you
guess
did.
I missed that.
That's a lie.
Well, no, it's not a lie.
We discussed that we wanted this to be an anthology, and we knew that it wasn't going to be. We already discussed that.
Okay, whatever. I just was taken aback. Anyway.
Nobody else was, so.
Okay, you want to do the review yourself, because you're welcome to.
No.
Okay, then just go ahead and go. This is the, this is the Haunted Mask. Now, this was a very popular episode years ago. It was on TV at Halloween in prime time, which was really amazing because it's a kid's show. But they put it on, and they put the second one on the following year on Halloween night in prime time, which was really amazing. I know Stine was really pleased about this.
Well, I hope he's not pleased about this like he pretended to be pleased with Fear Street on Netflix. Remember that, Safi?
Yeah.
He pretended like that was good.
It was so far from good. Really bad. Really bad.
And I will say that, I won't say.
I can barely remember it. I mean, it was just so messed up.
It all revolved around lesbianism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so how they could do this, because what they've done to this episode, I don't know, they turning a girl into Michael Myers? I mean, I don't know what the deal is. And the mask,
the mask is terrible. It's it morphs into things and it talks and it's bizarre. It's like a combined version of the mask from the book and then the sculpture that the mom makes her, because the sculpture talked in the episode and everything, and so it's like a combination. It's like they decided, ooh, let's make that the same thing. Ooh, let's just fuck around with everything in the Haunted Mask. The one that everyone loves. Ooh.
And everybody loved that episode. And the second one. Everybody loved that too. They're really probably one of the two best, I think, that were on TV, and obviously they must have thought so back then because they put it in prime time. That is totally unusual.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah, really. And the mask, we've gotten a mask like that. It's something that you get at a craft shop. It's white and plain. There's nothing to it, and you add stuff to it.
Yeah.
And so it's plain, so you can add whatever you want to make it into whatever you want. But this time, it's something else. It's enchanted in a negative way.
And, okay, so let's go through it. So first off, we go back in time, and we meet the new Carly Beth, but she's not Carly Beth. She's what, Safi? What's her name? Isabella, and she's part Latina, part Asian. And so, that's because we all know that's what Goosebumps was missing. Diversity! Because, the original show didn't have any diversity at all.
And that's not true. I remember. That, in fact, it was probably one of the most diverse shows on TV.
It was very diverse.
And it was for kids.
And it's funny, because in this, let's just go through it, because this is starting to give me, a headache, this show, because it's just so bad. And it's so, not any of the books. And as somebody else said, it's a horrible representation of Goosebumps. This is not what Goosebumps is. This show. Right, Safi?
Well, it depends on what you want to look at. You want to look at the way it originally was? No. Nothing like it.
It's not like how it is now either, though.
I don't know what it is.
It's
now.
not like the babyish Slappy World books either.
No. I don't know what it is. It's a fake modern horror like Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's a trendy, diverse Disney Plus bullshit show.
I don't understand why they're doing this stuff. Especially, I don't know who this is aimed for.
Losers.
I really, no, really. When you write books, let's say you write children's books, for example, they'll say, well, what are you aiming for? What audience? What age group? And you're supposed to have that in mind. And it's the same with TV shows. They'll say, well, who are you aiming this for? Oh, I'm aiming this for single men who don't want to get married and who like kids, but just really weird stuff. That they'll ask, "What's this?" Because they have to have a direction, and I don't know what this is, who this is aimed for. I really don't. So high school kids, I just can't see high school kids watching it.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when at the end, I'll ask you, the audience, whoever's listening, if you're a high school kid, are you a high school kid, or what do you think about? Who do you think this series of shows is directed towards? This one, not the old Goosebumps.
Okay, first off, this is not the Carly Beth character.
Not at all.
You know, Carly Beth, her whole character is she's a scaredy cat. Well, guess what? She's not a scaredy cat in this show. She is just invisible to everyone. Yeah. That's her character. And so
I don't know why.
That's not the character.
I
Sorry.
don't understand it.
Nice try.
She's not bad. She's not ugly. She's not stupid. In fact, she does, for the football team, she does all their filming. So she films all the games. That's something that the football team uses to help their playing, to see where their weaknesses are and where they could get stronger. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get who is writing this stuff. It's like they're in a fog. Are they all stoned or something?
Probably.
I don't know. Or drunk? Or high in any way? I just don't get it.
Well, I will say, before we go any further, I did think that the actress who played the Carly Beth character, I thought that she was a good actress, and that she's the only good actress so far in the whole show, and that her and Justin Long, they're really the only good actors so far, in my opinion.
Is that the guy who plays the English teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
She did a really good job, and he did a really good job. But their acting couldn't save this awful, terrible, abysmal, shitty, dumb episode. And so then she goes to the Halloween party. She gets the shitty mask, and instead of...
No, it calls to her, and so she looks for it. It's in the basement, and she picks it up.
Yeah, and she puts it on, and she uses it to get noticed at this party and look sexy to people.
I don't know what I don't know what she's thinking, because those masks are just plain, with nothing on them. They're ordinary.
And then she leaves, and she's like, best party ever!
Well, it gave her an attitude, so she strutted around, and she didn't... I mean, I think she ran into people, and she acted like a boss. So, which is not her character. She just goes about her business, and she does care about other people and everything. But she just doesn't. I don't know how to describe it. She's invisible to everybody.
At this party too, the main guy's girlfriend, the football guy. His girlfriend actually makes fun of Carly Beth, so...
She's a bully.
One of the main characters that we're supposed to like is a bully. So, I don't know why they chose to do that.
I don't either. It's Allison. She's, and the girl's not flirting with her boyfriend either. like she's jealous of everybody. Yeah, I was really surprised. I thought it was just, in the first one, I thought it was just a jealousy thing, but she's a bully.
And so let's see, what's next? Yeah. And then another main character, he's supposed to be a main character in the show. He jumps off the bleachers and destroys her drone.
Yeah, what'd she have the drone there for? Was that to take pictures?
To take videos of the game, or the practice.
The practice. Okay.
Whatever. But he's another bully. So another main character is a bully. I don't know why they did that.
A $3,000 drone, too.
And he says he's going to pay it off $5 a week. Oh, and so just so you know, guys, I calculated it would take over 11 years to pay it off if he only paid $5 a week.
He'll be way out of high school and having a regular job then, too. So there's no way he could pay more than $5 a week.
Yeah. And there's this whole stupid scene where she's negotiating with him, and the mask is talking to her and telling her what to do, and then the mask possesses her, and it's so bad.
Without being on.
It's not the book at all. It's so terrible. Like, even though she did a really good job, it's terrible.
Well, it tells her to be mean about it in so many words. And instead of saying, well, that's okay, but, my mom is going to have a fit.
Yeah, her
mom's terrible.
Carly Beth's mom is a CUNT, okay? Like, Carly Beth's mom is the worst character on the show so far, and that's even worse because that is not the story either. No, in the book, her mom is a sweetheart, and she's an artist, and she makes the sculpture. Well, in this, she is just the worst bitch on the planet.
She's really mean.
She won't even give her own son a fucking fruit gummy. I mean, what a bitch.
Yeah, he wants some fruit gummies for a snack, like in the afternoon after school. And she says, have an apple instead.
Yeah, like, well, how about fuck off, you shitty, not Carly Beth's mom character? Like, I hated this. And so then, at the end, we will talk about the Justin Long subplot because we're focusing on the haunted mask story, supposedly.
Yeah, there's two things going on, basically parallel to each other.
And then Carly Beth, she beats up the bully. she really beats him up.
But she had the mask on.
And then the mask morphs into like a monster mask. And then she goes home and it morphs again, and it's her and her brother at home, and she starts destroying the house like she's just, I don't know, it makes no sense at all.
Well, what happens
is... It's so dumb.
The mother got really upset about the drone and blamed it on her because she took it to school. And if she hadn't taken it to school, nothing would have happened to it. And then so she locks it up in a cupboard with a key and a lock. And so the mother, so then they have all that scene in the guidance counselor's office, which I thought he was the principal, and I found out in this episode he's the guidance counselor. And anyway,
he's Andy from The Office. No, wait, not Andy. What was his name in The Office?
I don't know.
Holly and, God, what was his name?
I didn't recognize him. But anyway, after all that scene in the office where she gets really mean with the boy, and then she realizes that's not her, and she apologizes and said whatever, and all that's, then when she goes back home later, she puts on the mask at some time or other, and this is after she beats up the boy, the drone. Then she starts trashing the house, I think where where her stuff is, locked up in the cupboard. And the little kid, he's there by himself because mom went to work. And so he's all scared, and he says, "Oh, what's the matter with you?" And he starts calling the police.
And it's like she wants to kill him. And it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense because all of a sudden it's like the mask has morphed into like a monster, and so she's like a monster or something. It makes no sense at all. And so then she chases him into the basement. And if you guys just want to know how disgraceful this is to the story, she is able to rip off the mask because she heard her brother call her name. So she is able to take off the haunted mask.
But it wasn't easy.
That's who fucking cares?
Remember the first one? It gets harder and harder to take off. And remember, she has 3 chances or something. So
no, she does not have 3 chances at all. She wears it once and then she puts it on again, and the longer she wears it, it morphs into her face and becomes a part of her. Right. So at the end of the episode, she had to dig up the sculpture or whatever and
she buried.
And she had to use that because you have to defeat the mask with the power of love. And in this episode, in this episode, they can't do the power of love with the mom because she's a CUNT. So they couldn't really do the power of love thing. They had to do the power of plot convenience, and it was just really bad. Like, I was like, it's one thing to change and, redo a story and, add things to it and make it better. It's another thing to do this. To do whatever the fuck this was, this fucking show.
They don't even
completely ruined it.
Well, they don't even bury the mask, and as far as I know, and even in the original, they buried the mask, but remember, it resurfaces. The dog, remember the dog digs it up, and this one, they just threw it in the water.
Well, no, that doesn't, no. In the first one, remember the brother has it on at the end of the episode.
Oh yeah.
The brother puts it on, and also there's no shop owner or shop either, by the way.
No.
None of that.
No.
Couldn't do that. That's too hard.
Actually belonged to the boy who was killed in the fire.
Yeah, Harold.
And it was in his basement with the camera and all that other stuff.
Okay, so now I will just say that was a terrible interpretation of the Haunted Mask story. I don't know why anyone would make excuses for this or say that it's good, except I did think that the actress was really good. It's too bad that the writing wasn't up to par. And so now let's get to the Justin Long subplot, because I will say too, he did a really good job as well. He was very funny. And it's really too bad because he fits perfectly in, the Goosebumps universe. Because he's so goofy, yet he takes it seriously at the same time. He did a really good job. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
In this episode, he's just acting really weirdly and creepy, and it's really fun to watch. Because it's like he's having so much fun with this role.
Yeah, what happens is, remember, when you left off with the first episode, he had inhaled the spirit of the boy. His name is Harold Biddle.
Yeah.
And it went into him. And so he's passed out on the floor for I guess it was on a Sunday or whatever, and it's Monday now. He wakes up, and he's supposed to be at work. And he's a school teacher. He's the English teacher at the high school. And so he's late, and he goes, but he can't walk. He's like bumping into all the lockers and falling.
And he's screaming at himself in the mirror. And there's this one hilarious scene where he's at this coffee shop with one of the moms who
it's Nora.
Helped kill the kid or whatever. And he disappears, and then he teleports to her, and it's really hilarious. And he grabs a chocolate bar or something to go with the sandwich.
Cocoa.
But it didn't look. It looked like very thin, like a bar.
No, it was cocoa. He said it.
Why was it so thin?
I don't know. It was a packet of powder.
Oh, okay. So that was really hilarious, and then Yeah, he's just messing around the whole episode, and yeah. So I give this episode a fuck you again, because even though 2 actors in this episode were really good, it was a horrible misrepresentation of the story, and there was nothing in it that was good except for that acting. And I feel like, the acting cannot be enough for me to raise it, because I'd never watch this again, ever. Like, I'd rather just watch the original episode, so I can't give it anything higher than a fuck you.
Huh?
Safi?
Oh, God.
What? And that's another thing, too. Remember how we said that, we accidentally deleted the Jason Goes to Hell video? Safi said her first F word on that video, and I just think it's awful, the fact that historic moment got deleted. Remember, Safi?
Yeah, I do.
She used the F word. That is how much she did not like Jason Goes to Hell.
Well, I'm going to give it an F too, because I just thought they bastardized the show. And I think it's a shame, because I thought those 2 actors were good too, and they were better than all the rest of them. And
yeah.
the girl who played the one at the restaurant who got the English teacher sandwich.
She's okay, but she's not really that great, because the script isn't that great,
Her name in the show is Nora, and her son was the one who messed up the drone.
Yeah.
And she's a single parent and doesn't have the money, but she's the one who's, she knows who Harold Biddle is, and she feels guilty because she said they did something to him, which resulted in his death.
Yeah, they did something to Freddy Krueger Jr.
Well, which we still don't know. Here we are. We're done with the 2nd episode. We still don't know. And of course, Harold Biddle, who's in the body of the English teacher, he remembers her. And what was I going to say? So, I just want to say, she's an actress who played a killer in one of the Monk episodes.
And I did not recognize her because she's a little older, and because, everybody on Monk, at least all the women mostly, they look very, very similar, because they all had like these early 2000s haircuts. They were wearing these early 2000s clothes, so I didn't recognize her, unfortunately.
I thought she looked familiar, and then I thought about it, and I thought, oh yeah.
It's so unfortunate that that we're watching this when we could just watch Monk again, because I'd rather watch Monk again, like right now, instead of watching any more of this trash.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. So, like, what a horrible embarrassment that they did. Like, I can't believe that this was allowed to get made. Like, I can't believe that they look, and it just shows, like, that even they knew that this was bad, because they hid the trailer until the last minute, and then they released 5 episodes in one day. They knew this was bad too. They had to have known. You couldn't think that this was good, honestly. Like, the only way you could think this was good is if you're laughing at it and just making a joke of it. Right, Safi?
I guess. I don't know. I just think, why do it if you're not going to do better than what you're doing? Because it's not... The thing that makes an episode good, or one element, which I think we've mentioned many times, is that if it's rewatchable.
And this isn't. This is not rewatchable.
And that's... to me, that's very important. It's just like reading a book. If you read a really good book, you might want to read it over and over and over again. They do have books that are like that.
I think another huge problem is the fact that, it's bad enough that a lot of these shows, they have to rush because they have a limited amount of episodes.
Yeah, they're only hurting themselves.
But
somebody else is hurting.
In this show, it's even worse because they have like these complicated stories going on all at the same time, and so I feel like it does a disservice because they can't really focus completely on that story, this haunted mask story, because they have to also tell all these other stories with all these other stupid characters that we don't care about. So, ugh.
Yeah, so anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But also, are you watching this series too? What do you think? Did you watch the original series? Or not the original? Did you watch these original episodes? They weren't linked together. They were separate stories with separate characters, which is bothersome, with younger actors. And in fact, I wanted to mention, and I didn't do it, the first episode that we watched with the camera, the boy in the original episode, that was Ryan Gosling as a kid.
And it's like, oh, instead of Ryan Gosling, we get generic modern character.
Yeah, whatever. So the next one will be
let's see.
The Clock of Doom, I think.
Yeah. Ugh.
So
that's gonna really piss me off because that one is like really, really good.
That's
like
a
that.
Good episode.
That's one of the best ones, and I bet that they're not gonna have the sister Tara. I bet that they're not gonna do Tara the Terrible justice because she is like one of the most evil villains in history of Goosebumps, and I bet they're not gonna handle that well in the show.
So, basically, we have 3 more episodes to watch. So we'll be back later. Bye.
Bye.